into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What a great NXT to kick off 2016, right?
Totally.
Definitely.
Solid show.
Definitely. Hello, everyone. I'm Cathy Kelley, and welcome to another NXT After Show right here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Joining me, as always, the Hobo.
I'm here.
You're
right
here.
Now.
You are. Presently. Eyeballs, earballs, your whole body's here.
He does have eyeballs, doesn't he?
I think.
Yes.
Except for one toe. One toe did not make it. It is currently on Mount Shasta.
That's gross.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a
froze
story.
off.
It's a hell of a story.
Sitting next to the Hobo with 10 toes and 10 fingers, Mark Donica.
As far as you know, hello everybody, I'm the internet soapbox Mark Donica, the wrestling realist, trying a new thing, why the hell not? You can follow me on Twitter at soapboxmark. We're going to be using the hashtag ABTVNXT as well as being live in the chat, so if you want to ask us anything about tonight's show or moving on, please let us know. But if you have read forward in the tapings, please do not spoil that for everybody else in chat.
Don't say a word.
And if you want to follow the cupcake of our, I mean, it's not like a royal cake, but I mean, you're the cupcake of the NXT After Show.
Oh yeah, that's
Would you
me.
rather be a large cake or a small cake? Cupcake or wedding cake? Like,
No, let's go cupcake.
They're different. I mean, like.
it's her call.
Yeah.
She's the one.
True, but we have leading the ship as always, Miss Cathy Kelley, who you can follow on Twitter at Cathy Kelley.
Wow, what an age we're in that cupcakes can actually be captains now.
Yeah. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
I just wanted to mention before we got into the episode, I just noticed your shirt after an hour of sitting with you.
Yes,
the Bullfit shirt.
Bring
And
Bullfits.
did you guys listen to Sam Roberts' show this last week, his wrestling
did not have a
podcast?
chance.
They did a huge, him and Katie did this huge thing for Bull Dempsey since he hasn't been on TV the last few weeks, and they were getting a hashtag trending of Bullfit for TV. So I wanted to get all the NXT team on board with that
Please.
because I am 100% behind
it.
that. I know
Dude.
we're 100% behind that.
Absolutely.
And if you guys are too, then definitely tweet that out. Hashtag Bullfit for TV. Want to see that just trending all across the globe because he deserves it.
Absolutely.
So getting into tonight's episode, there's so much to talk about, so many matches, so many returns, a new commentary team, or at least some change-ups, shifts in it. Only two, but two of the announced team's best. We have Corey Graves is returning, and he is joined by Tom Phillips.
Yeah. What did you think of this team?
I really like them. I personally really like two people because they know when to talk and when the other person is talking clearly. But them two, it's like good cop, bad cop, which is great. They're dynamic.
And it's a lot, they have a little bit more, like Rich Brennan I really like, but him with Graves is like, a freshman and a senior.
I love that
Like,
though.
yeah.
Like the times when Graves, I guess I just love Graves on the announce team is like him picking on Rich all the time. We saw that in the review episodes too.
Yeah, and that was fine for that. And for anything backstage, he treated him like a early Michael Cole, like when Rock would call him a dork and a nerd and all that stuff. But I like this better because Tom has a pedigree under him, and he has a different. Because he has, like, when I thought of him, I thought of Young Boy Tom, which is what they call him on Up, Up, Down, Down. But at the same time, I've always been a fan of how he presents the product. So him and Graves is a wonderful, wonderful way for this product to be evolving. I do miss Rich Brennan a bit, though.
Yeah.
We did get to see him a little bit backstage.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about more. And I think he's still on main event, even though Mauro Ranallo took over on SmackDown. So
That's right. He already did that.
yeah. So another person returning to NXT. Long-awaited return of William Regal, the GM of NXT. He comes out and warm welcome from all of Full Sail, but he announces that tonight the main event is going to be a women's battle royale for the #1 contender to the women's championship.
I think this was a good move.
I think this is a great move.
We've essentially, after London, we started back at 0. Really, do we have to reset everything? So why not just have a battle royal? Reintroduce all of the female talent that we currently have, because there's a lot of girls you can honestly forget about unless you see them, and we got to see everybody tonight, more or less.
And we also, for the heavyweight title picture, which we'll get into as well, it's that same thing of they quickly established who is the closest to the top.
Yeah.
And I think that was a great move too.
We got to see throughout this episode several small promos from a lot of the girls that were in the Battle Royale tonight. So were there any highlights from those little clips?
You get to see that the Australian talent is the newer girls are really establishing
that they're actually
themselves.
Australian, because we got to hear them for the first time.
Yeah.
Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and yeah, it's interesting because we've seen them wrestle with each other a lot, and then we've seen some singles matches
together
with
and
them.
against.
Yeah,
Right.
but we never really got to establish their separate personalities, and now we're finally getting to do that. We also got to see Liv Morgan. We had never really heard from her before. Her repping Jersey. We saw Elias NXT debut, which we'll talk about later as well.
Exciting.
But yeah, lots of great things. I really wish, and I said this to you before, so I ruined the joke, but I really wish Asuka's was, I really wanted to come out and, what's the word for it? Murder everyone. So I thought that would have been great.
These little promos, they're perfect for little character things. You reestablish who you are, and for a lot of these girls, the first time they're really getting to debut kind of what they're doing now on TV.
Yeah.
So you need those moments of, so this is who I am, this is who I am,
well,
this is who I am.
With Asuka especially, that is the challenge that so many people have is you can say things, but it's easy, like, it's so much harder to actually believe it and prove it, and she doesn't have to say a word to know exactly what she is about.
Yes.
She did say some words, but you didn't need any of that to understand where she was coming from.
I honestly thought that she was just going to wave. To be honest, she was just going to give one of her
The
little waves
camera
that
would
she
pan
does.
up, and she would just look like she's going to kill you.
And that's all we need.
Yeah.
You know, but I like how they even the playing field for every single woman that was going to be in that match. Everybody got a line or two to talk about it. Nobody got a really extended promo, and everybody got a shot to show you why they were in it.
Yeah.
And we got a firm establishment, speaking of the Australians, from Peyton Royce that it's not a snake thing. It's a Venus flytrap, the Venus flytrap of NXT, which is like, cool, we know your character. And Billie Kay, while she didn't say, I am this, it was still the way that her piece was shot was very suggestive.
If you don't remember me.
Yeah. Hey, by the way.
We remember you.
Perazo had the best promo in promos that you shouldn't do. You remember me? I got kicked in the face, but never mind that. I'm gonna win tonight.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for reminding us just to make us forget.
Absolutely.
Is the idea.
Don't think about me getting kicked in the face, because tonight that's not gonna. I'll see myself out.
Well, we'll talk more about this match later in the night, but another thing that William Regal announces is someone else returning, and he is the frontman of the greatest ska band of all time. Sami Zayn and the Full Sailors comes out to the Ole chants and just very warm welcome again. Sami says that he wants to be the first ever two-time NXT champion, believes he can do it. He built the brand, and he really deserves that shot, at least. But he is interrupted by Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe comes out and says he is the one that's next in line, to which Corbin interrupts. He comes out and he says, Joe, you had your shot and you failed. And then he addresses Sami and says, while you were nursing your injury, you were surpassed.
That's not inaccurate.
It's a hard thing to sort of disprove. I mean, the Skankmaster General has got his work cut out for him with these two opponents in particular.
Yeah, the SMG.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a really hard position to get within the Skull community.
Got to work for it.
Well,
really do.
Joe even responds and says to Sami that he needs to learn his place. Sami says, my place is in the ring. That's where I always should have been, and that's where I am right now. Corbin then hits him from behind. So that kind of seemed like a cheap shot.
Yes, the cheapest of shots, yeah. But he was dressed in his gear, so he wasn't necessarily off limits, so to speak. Once you put those boots on, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So always be ready, have your head on a swivel. Even though he got jumped from behind, he gave a haluva kick right back to Corbin, sent him out. So I think it was clear that he's a competitor in this, and that his injury is behind him 100%. And this is the Sami Zayn of old that we can expect to see going forward.
He's tired of being on the bottom.
Absolutely.
He deserves to be in that top spot, and I 100% agree with it. Technical note that I noticed, they updated Corbin's entrance, and his video looks a little bit more professional, looks a little bit more, in terms to say it looks a little bit more ready for the main roster. Oh. So I think that could be an indicator that he may show up in the Royal Rumble.
I mean, it is that time, and this is something that we can have more debate or more of a discussion about, is it seems like there are a lot of guys in that top spot right now, and when we've seen that in the past, it is an indicator that someone's about to or is like they're in that position to be next in line to move up to the main roster. And with these three guys, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, Baron Corbin, and Finn Balor, and we have Apollo Crews, all of these people who any of them could realistically be the NXT champion. And we also have a few more people rumored to be coming to NXT very soon who will also be in that top spot. It just seems inevitable that someone is going to move up very soon.
I would have to imagine, yes, but that's why the Royal Rumble in particular is so much fun, because any of these guys could appear and then move on to the main roster. Rusev did it, so it's the ground is set and established for any of these guys to sort of make that transition past the Royal Rumble onto television.
But can it be kept a secret if they have to travel all that way from Winter Park to Orlando for the Royal Rumble?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, dude. The Periscope. With Periscope, you can honestly, somebody from Florida could be driving from the same area who does the NXT rounds, could be driving and to see them on the freeway, I wonder where they're going, and just take a picture, and then it's dead, and then it's broken.
Mean, that's the thing though, is it will be such a surprise, because all of the people, no matter whether you're in the Performance Center and you're not on TV yet, or you are and you're in the top spot, all of those people are going to be backstage at the Royal Rumble, just because it's a learning opportunity and it's a company excursion, it's a field trip. All of NXT is going to be there, so it's going to be that much more unpredictable.
Absolutely.
If they present it like that, then it's going to be even more unpredictable.
Well, you're not going to see look who's backstage.
I mean, let's be honest, they're not going to make, the people that work at the Performance Center watch from the network on their couch if it's in Orlando. They're going to let them watch backstage, or they're going to get them comp tickets if they're not on TV. That's just the reality of it.
Right. You're part of the company, you get to go to the company thing in the company city.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to see where this is going to lead. We'll just talk about it now, but it is announced that there's going to be a triple threat match between Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, and Baron Corbin for that #1 contender spot.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Not next week.
Yes.
We were just talking about three-way possibilities last week, and here we are presented with one right in front of us.
And they hadn't even done the taping yet.
No.
Right.
We're just that smart.
I mean,
ahead of the curve.
And if you want to listen to that episode, make sure to tune in on iTunes. Find the link there. Listen to it on your way to and from work, or wherever you listen to podcasts, in the gym. And we also have it. It's on our. We have a playlist on the AfterBuzz TV channel on YouTube. So take a listen to that. It is one of our most. We started the year with the most unconventional show that we could have done, because it was literally a news and gossip show, and it was a lot of fun.
An hour of it. A news and gossip and debate show.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. A lot of debate. That's what's great about wrestling.
So after this opening segment, we get Rich Brennan backstage interviewing the women's champion, Bayley. he asks her, how did you get out of that match with Nia Jax at TakeOver London? And Bayley says she just barely survived, but she did retain her championship. And then Rich and her talk about the battle royale that is happening tonight for the #1 contender position to Bayley's championship. She actually says that she wishes that she were in the battle royale.
Because she likes battle royals.
Because she likes it, but she is just happy that it's happening, and she said she might even have to give the winner a hug.
I mean, I figure it's a hug either way.
That's in her nature.
If you're somebody she likes, she's going to give you a nice hug. If you're somebody she doesn't like, she's going to hug you into the ground.
Gonna hugplex you.
Hugplex.
Yes.
Yeah. So we get the announcements of who won the NXT awards this year. They were very fast. I assume.
Yes, they were.
I guess in my mind, I just assumed that they would be more like the Slammies, not taking up a full episode, but we would get some sort of in-ring thing going on.
Or pepper them throughout the broadcast.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah, but it was literally within like 30 seconds. They announced all of them. So we kicked it off with Enzo and Cass winning Tag Team of the Year. I think that's what we predicted. All three of us.
That's what we figured was going to happen, but we also had
Well, yeah, we wanted who we wanted to win, but I think it's great that these guys, the Tag Team of the Year, didn't hold the title.
Yep.
That means a lot.
That means a lot.
Female Competitor of the Year went to Bayley.
No surprises there.
Nope. Balor won Male Competitor of the Year. Brooklyn won Takeover of the Year, which we all wanted, and I don't know if we predicted it. We thought that it could go multiple ways.
Like you and I wanted Brooklyn, but predicted, well, I figured
London.
you thought London because it was the most recent, and I thought a different one, but I thought Respect because of what the entire event meant, but Hobo went straight up Brooklyn, but we all wanted Brooklyn.
Can't even talk. I'm so excited. Brooklyn took it to the next level, I feel like. And Regal even discussed this in the opening segment. I think Sami mirrored his sentiments on it. But NXT has grown so much, and it is the fastest growing wrestling brand maybe ever, just for the trajectory that it's on. And Brooklyn was just, I think that proved to the wrestlers there, it proved to the management in WWE, and it proved to a lot of the fans how big the product has become. They sold out the same arena that SummerSlam sold out. And Raw, yeah. That is not an easy feat.
No, and it's so difficult to really get an understanding of how big an impact you're making on the wrestling scene as a whole, especially with the number of people you're reaching. But as soon as that place sold out, it was without question, we are established now. We can sell tickets to events now. Like, it's not, we're not going to have a difficult time marketing this. We're done. We've actually managed to market it and sell out a full house.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, it's the same thing as like seeing your favorite band at a venue where it holds 300 people and seeing them in a venue that holds 15,000. Like, it's a different experience, but it's exciting for all of us as fans, exciting for the people that work down there. It's really
and for people involved. Friend of the show, Mr. Mikazi. I am Mikazi on Twitter. He was talking about
ramen.
Well, aside from ramen, we have our moments, please. But he was so excited for when we get to the match of the year, but because it had to do with Brooklyn, I'll say it. And we had a little bit of back and forth about, we knew in New York, when we were in New York, how special that event was and how special what won for match of the year was.
Unique.
New York. Damn it, Cathy.
Okay, let's just say it. Yeah. Match of the year was
Bayley Sasha won.
Sasha Bayley, the first match of that series.
So what?
Takeover Brooklyn, the first co-main event for a female match for a special in all of WWE history.
And arguably, I don't know if it stands up as a overall match of the year candidate. There are a lot of great matches on the main roster.
That was one of the the parts of the poll that was stacked. Like all of those matches were excellent matches, and that's just a testament to how great the product is.
Agreed. And what Makazi said, because I still haven't said it yet, was there are few times in a person's life when you can truly say you witnessed something special. And when it came to that event, when it came to seeing our boy Bull Dempsey re-debut with the bullfit, and Apollo Crews debut, and Ty Dillinger be a part of such a big card, and this match and the 8-way tag team match, like that whole card top to bottom made you feel everything, absolutely everything, every single feel you could feel. And it deserves takeover, it deserves match, Bayley deserves female competitor, and personally I felt that she deserved overall competitor of the year. But
okay, let's talk about that then.
Let's talk about it.
Overall competitor of the year actually went to Finn Balor, which is something we thought could happen potentially.
Oh, yeah.
I think we predicted Sasha would take overall competitor.
I was hoping for 3 different winners, 1 male, 1 female, and then 1 overall. 3 different winners, but Finn took home best male and best overall. So that kind of makes the most sense. But I was hoping for something a little bit more.
We were talking about it during the episode. He's arguably the biggest talent that is on the NXT roster right now. Because of his experience, because of where he's wrestled, he's always been, well, not always been, but he is the top guy at NXT. He was one of the top guys at New Japan when he was there, and it makes sense for why he did win. Like, I understand.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
But as we were talking while we were watching the show, he was arguably the greatest overall competitor of the year. And the fact that we can have that discussion again proves how great the product is, and proves how many standout superstars there were in NXT this year.
Seriously. So, moving on, we have our next match, Danny Birch versus Tommaso Ciampa. This is one of the first times we've seen Ciampa in a singles competition in NXT. Obviously, we've seen him team with Gargano a lot in the past months. Every
once in a while they throw him in there, but they're usually like on the same show.
But he won.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
With an armbar.
Hell of an armbar reversal.
Armbar.
Wow. This match, like Birch is. I think the crowd is starting to get a little bit used to. He has kind of a shorter match, depending on who he's fighting. But this match made both of these guys just show why they're here, why they're on this product, why they're on this program, and just wow from all sides. Heavy hits, heavy slaps, heavy slams. This is a rough and tumble, action-packed match that we're used to on NXT. This is like an NXT classic of this type of a match where arguably mid-card gets a fair amount of time and has a good match no matter how much time they have.
Since we've had so many people come in from different independent promotions and different companies recently, and a lot of the times it seems like their matches specifically feel different from the entire show. It's kind of refreshing to see 2 guys, Ciampa and Gargano, come in, and every match that they have, it feels seamless with the flow of the show, but they have a distinct style in that they wrestle.
Agreed, yes. It's nice that they're able to sort of go in so smoothly. What I didn't find so smooth about this match was sort of the beginning. I wasn't sure what to expect from Danny Birch. I wished that he had spent a little more time establishing in the beginning who he was. The crowd didn't quite know where the match was going to start, so they were a little bit quiet.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, I know Danny Birch's name and I know who he is, but I haven't seen much of his character yet, and that's just because there's so much talent on the roster right now that I don't know where he would fit in if he was pushed right now.
Right. But you need to take that time in the ring to establish a little bit of character, any character at all.
So is that that's up to him, is what you're saying?
I'm saying if it should be taken into consideration. I'm not going to say it's entirely up to him, but it should be taken into consideration because he sort of falls into the background. Now you got to see during this match, he's a heavy striker. really, really very powerful strikes, and they're putting that over on commentary.
Yeah.
But I didn't get any sense of a character. There's a guy, obviously he's an English brawler, but beyond that, what is he really other than a pair of hands and a pair of boots?
Well, I think we're waiting for the time when he can get his like Elias Samson type debut, because we've been seeing Elias Samson all over the place, and then he showed up as the Drifter. So I think it's a time to expose everybody to what kind of a guy Danny Birch is, so that when they do give him that character and we get that change in personality, that change in ring attire, that change in how you carry yourself, it's gonna be, oh, that dude kicked people's asses back in the day. I'm excited to see where he goes from here, like we have been for Samson.
Yeah. So Enzo and Cass promos never disappoint, and this one was
especially
just
the serious
next
ones.
Level.
The serious ones take you off guard.
Well, they even with this now, like they're doing word plays, they're doing that kind of stuff, but there's more anger behind what they're saying. It seems like they went into saying, what was it? Their opponents have no backbone. They're boneless, like chicken tenders, and credit where credit's. I don't know. There's so much stuff going on, but it was great. And anything else you want to say from that?
Their use of how you doing is always a big variable, and they keep playing with how well it works here and there, and the timing. I'd say just keep playing with it, because you can do the quick. Hey, you can do like super quick, or you can space it out like they did tonight. I like how they use it, and I just hope they keep playing with it. Really,
it's fabulous.
I think their frustration in this promo was very palpable, and you can understand it. They just won Tag Team of the Year, but yet they've never held the Tag Team Championships, and every time they seem to get close, it manages to get further away from them. It's gotta be absolutely frustrating for them, and you could feel it in this, but they kept their style. They kept their same style that they've established, but yet they had an edge, and you need that edge sometimes.
Yeah, well said. So moving on, Regal is backstage to announce the triple threat match, which we already talked about. Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe versus Baron Corbin for the #1 contendership to the NXT championship. So anything else you guys want to mention from that? It's still 2 weeks away. It seems like there may be some stuff next week's episode that leads up to this, but
yeah, I think if the room, I'm excited to see what happens next week. We're probably just going to get a little bit more of a push from all three competitors for next week.
I'd like to hear a little bit more from Balor. Like
I was just going to say that.
I mean, we got the
promo
later in the night,
but it was
but
not much more than what we've heard from him say about these competitors before. I want to hear, the backstory, and especially with Sami Zayn. This is someone who's been a friend of his for a while, and he's still friends with. So
the one thing that I would say in terms of wanting to hear more from Finn Balor is something that he said in his own interview, but none of that matters now. Like all of the stuff that he said in his promo is the same stuff that he said before. But okay, what else you got?
Can we just talk about the promo now? So it's a little bit out of order, but because we're already on the topic, Alex Reyes interviews him backstage and talking about the triple threat match.
It's our boy.
But Balor says that the NXT championship is staying with Balor. As much I didn't mind this promo at all, but I always think it's funny because he is, I think, maybe the only person that I've ever heard who can refer to themselves in the third person and not be a total heel.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, when you have as many personalities as he has, you have to
I think there's only two.
Them.
How many are there?
Well, you got the Demon, you got Balor, you got Fergal. Fergal's in there somewhere.
Okay.
And some would argue the Prince.
The Prince, yeah.
I thought he's dead.
Fair enough.
I
Fair play.
Know. Is anyone ever really dead in wrestling? Really? You got guys like The Undertaker and Kane who come back time after time.
True.
Nothing's ever dead in wrestling. It's great.
Never mind.
You can say what you want.
Hulk Hogan's Hall of Fame spot?
Yes. Even that. Nothing's forever.
Woo! Keeping it real. The wrestling roast. I'm trying to really get that over.
Let's talk about the next match.
Can
we? Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
This was awesome.
Dash and Dawson versus the Ascension, the tag title holders versus the former tag title holders, the Ascension, who are now on the main roster. They came back to Full Sail for this matchup.
Yeah.
Dash and Dawson win, a much quicker win than I thought, actually.
Dude.
But they are not here for the flips and the tricks. They are here.
Scott Dawson flipped.
He did a flip.
He did a flip.
I saw it.
I don't take them seriously anymore. We're big fans of them from all of our interviews.
But now they're liars.
Yeah, exactly. Now they're liars, which makes
trust
them
issues. This
real
is awful.
heels.
No flips.
And I know you watch, so you listen to me now. You better change your profile. You do no flips. We like sometimes flips.
Occasional flips.
Occasional flips.
Mostly fists.
Necessary flips. Then I'll take you seriously again, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Jeez.
It is the
broken.
proverbial flipping someone off when they lie to you.
I mean, it's
Lying to
more
their
like
fans.
he flipped off somebody.
Yeah.
There you go. That'll work.
So
This is a fun match, though.
yeah.
Like, you don't, like, Victor, while he's the smaller guy of the Ascension, towered over Dash Wilder, dude.
Well,
That
so
was
you realize,
interesting to see.
That was imposing as heck.
This was so quick. I mean, Victor, for all that he did in this match, he didn't have very much to offense to throw at this because Dash and Dawson climbed on top of him that fast and just beat the crap out of him.
I would have also loved, and this is the only thing that I thought was lacking, is I wish that we had heard more of the history between these two tag teams before or throughout the match. And that's just something that, like, I know is there, but I don't necessarily remember because it was 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So a little refresher would have been nice.
It's nice that history adds
regardless, it was a great match. Really excited to see that. Going backstage, we see Nia Jax with one of the trainers and William Regal and her sidekick, Eva Marie. The trainer says that Nia is not medically cleared to compete in the Divas, or women's, brain fart.
Get out.
I hate myself.
No.
She is not medically cleared to be in the women's battle royale tonight. But Miss All Red Everything except when she's wearing green, Eva Marie
All green everything.
says, do not worry, Nia Jax.
Opposite Christmas tree.
It's okay. I will rep both of us in the battle royale tonight. But can the battle be royal if the queen isn't in it?
Nah.
Queen Nia.
Yes. We got a couple folks in chat. Let me see where it actually started. With Style Petite, can the Ascension team with Nia Jax? Because they got the armor and the thing going versus Banff. I would like that a lot. Yeah.
They would be like, yes, Queen Nia.
And we get a little bit of that too. Oh, goodness. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say about Miss All Green Everything is her attire reflected how she acted in this promo. It was green for envy. Because Nia got the spot before, got a bigger spot than she did. She got a takeover women's title match instead of her. And she's beyond excited that Nia couldn't compete. So she's green with envy.
She was definitely doing the, that's too bad. Yes.
I did like how we got to see the same the actual trainer from NXT.
I know.
As a little bit of a breaking ground nod. And Nia just totally like, Regal, come on. That was a very breaking ground
It was a
moment.
real moment.
It
That's
was.
what, you have to mix the storyline with your actual personality for it to be believable.
Tell me that she's not in here. Tell me that she left. I swear, that seemed a lot more real than the stuff that we get in the back post. You're right there. Post Asuka matches.
Doing okay. She didn't make an appearance on this episode,
yes.
And yet we still managed to bring it back around. Sweet Dana Brooke.
Sorry, PW Gregory in chat. Oh, she's green, all right.
Well,
won't say anything about that.
Say what about what?
Samson and Hollis. Elias Samson.
Corey Hollis
comes out, end up winning this match with a brutal looking neck
Quick
breaker.
snapping neck breaker.
Snap and spin.
Yep.
The old snap and spin.
Oh, snap and spin.
But it goes to what we said in Takeover London, where he uses anything at his disposal to get ahead. Which
Someone's
seems
head, because he snaps it right off.
very good.
Yep.
Which is very akin to a drifter-like character.
Yeah. You guys had some good suggestions, I guess, for the development of his character while we were watching this. So what exactly do you think that Samson needs to do to progress?
Oh, well, on commentary, they say that they don't know anything about him. That doesn't help him.
No.
You have to add more if you're on
Tales,
commentary.
legends from the road. There are stories. There are stories about this guy who does this.
There are stories about this guy,
Legends.
or we don't know him we don't know him personally, but what we've heard from the guys that have interacted with him, the little that they have is he is X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Like he was driven to one of the live events by a local biker gang, and when he left, they all kind of like cowered. Like he did like something, just something.
If you don't know anything about him, then just talk about his air and his presence when he walks to the ring. Like you can get a feel for someone in those moments.
Absolutely. You don't talk about what you don't know. You talk about what you do know, and you make up the rest. That's what you really need to do.
And in terms of how he carries himself, like it's great to have the guitar visibly out there because then you can just play it. But for a guy who wears the same thing city to city as a drifter, and as we noted in Takeover, he didn't take any of his stuff with him except for his guitar. Give him a guitar case. That way, or I mean, not like a bindle, but like give him something where he can be like, this is the most important thing to me. This is all I have. This is literally the shirt off my back. I gotta keep him somewhere. This is where I'm gonna keep him, because he was just like taking off his necklace and his thing and this and that, and it's like, oh, then he took off his gimmick.
Because a drifter wouldn't trust anyone.
No,
with his
that's
personal
his stuff. This is
he
mine.
He has to keep an eye on it because that's all he has.
Yeah.
My problem is that as in love as he is with his guitar, I still feel more love for an instrument from Xavier Woods and Francesca. Like, there's so much love there.
Poor Francesca. Well, that's the thing, is we're pretty sure that the guitar has a name, but we don't know for sure. If
I don't
anybody
know
in
what the
chat
name
knows,
is. No, the commentary doesn't know what the name is. No one knows what the name is.
Yeah. Just something easy, Betsy. Something. Just a name. Just in general, a name.
Yeah.
The fact that we can get something more emotional out of a trombone, which isn't a common instrument. Everybody has a guitar. Sure. Like, what does he play? Stairway and Smoke on the Water? Like, we don't know. Freebird?
Freebird.
That was funny. Like, we didn't know if it was a Michael Hayes, and then we went, no, everybody wants him to play Freebird.
Right.
Oh, you lovely people down at Full Sail. In terms of the match, everybody was really hot on Hollis.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, hot on Hollis, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, 'cause
I feel like the crowd, and this is what we saw, you and I saw at San Jose, we saw this in several other places when Elias Samson comes out, is I really want to like him because I know the story behind his character. I want to get on board with it, but there's just some kind of disconnect where I can't.
Right.
I don't know what it is. We keep on saying I don't know, but I don't know what it is.
Because I don't feel that he knows or that the team knows, because everybody has to be on board with what it is in order to put it out in the public eye and make it something that everybody universally understands. But when he comes out, there's too many questions that aren't being answered.
The wrong questions,
right?
Because with a mysterious character like this, there are plenty of questions that there should be, but the commentary should put them in your head.
I think for me, when I first saw him and he came out and he got on the guitar and he started singing, unless you have the voice of an angel and you can strum like you are the lead guitarist in a rock band, like, don't do it, because there are going to be people that are judgmental, and unless you're joking around and being like, oh, I just like to do this for fun, if you're taking it that seriously, people are going to criticize you.
Right.
You are going to be a heel automatically because you aren't the best singer or the best guitar player or whatever, even if he's good.
Why would a drifter play guitar when he's also a professional wrestler? Like, why don't you just wrestle like me? I travel.
Well, then
to
is it a panhandler? Is that why he plays guitar?
Yeah, that's sort of.
And
what
that's
he's
another
saying,
thing
but
for the case. because where else would you carry your money when you're playing? If you're playing guitar to get place to place, where are you going to put that in the body?
I mean, he should take the guitar case and go around and collect tips, and then no one gives him tips. People give him like their ticket stubs.
Though people wouldn't do that.
Oh.
I give, or I at least put my hat out in most cases. People have given me everything from candy and popcorn to money to gift cards to various stores. It's weird.
Trash.
Trash. Some
You can
people are
recycle it
jerks.
though.
Cans, bottles, that's the stuff I can use.
10
the other
cents,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anything helps, but yeah, you should give people the opportunity to interact with the individual.
Yeah, for somebody like that.
Right.
Like, there may be stuff that he's working on house shows and traveling shows, but we haven't seen that represented yet.
Right.
Definitely on traveling shows. He's a drifter.
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, every show is a traveling show.
Yeah,
And speaking of that, I liked Graves's comment about, like, how did he get back from London if he was just panhandling and trying to figure out what, like, ferries and this, that, and the other thing. But I feel like that devalued him as a drifter.
Right, you don't ask that question. You insert a story about how he possibly could have gotten back here. He could have snuck aboard the Concorde.
Or I heard he was playing guitar on the dock, and Captain loved it so much that he made him like first mate or something.
Yes.
As long as he kept playing that guitar, and or something like that's the thing is we need more stories, and he can't make them. Like, it would almost be better if he's one of those guys that walks through a bar that you go, I hear that he can carry 3 kegs by himself. Like, so, he's got to be that guy. He's got to be the guy that nobody knows about, comes, quietly orders a drink, but everybody is scared of. That's the guy he's got to be.
I've been that for years.
Yes, you have.
Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and Stu Stone, to his credit, has told some of the most outlandish stories about me.
Because Stu
some
is
of which
the
are
best
true.
storyteller ever.
He is. He said I give pigeons lice once. He's terrible. Or amazing. I'm not sure.
I
if you
heard
want
that
it-
one too, though. That's true, right?
I saw that.
Maybe one of
If you want to hear more of Stu Stone, make sure to follow Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on Patreon. For just $2 a month, you can get unlimited access, as well as see this guy wrestle and that lady give wonderful backstage interviews. Back to NXT.
After
I do bar mitzvahs.
Thank you for the plug, by
I
the
do
way,
what I
Mark.
can.
After the match between Elias, Samson, and Hollis, Samson gets on the mic very quickly and he says, "What this place needs is what I am."
Sounded like Wrestling Fred, though. Like, if you want a fun time, Google Wrestling Fred. He's a friend of ours. He had a little bit of he was worked up because of the match, but he sounded a little more exasperated than
Wrestling
serious.
Fred.
It's like, what this place needs is what I am. So it was really hard to take him seriously because he sounded like a friend of ours. Tweet at Wrestling Fred or look him up. He's a friend of our friend, Mr. Mike Falzone, and he looks like and the Drifter looks like Mike Falzone anyway.
He does.
So it's really hard to take him seriously as it is.
Even in that catchphrase, what this needs is what I am, you're left asking, what are you, man?
I am. He said it.
He's a yam?
Yeah.
Nah, he's not nearly orange enough for that. He's gotta get, like, a hold of some Ric Flair DNA. Yeah. Sweet potato.
We already talked about the Balor interview backstage, so
we did.
let's talk about the women's battle royale for
crap.
the #1 contendership to the women's title down at NXT. Before we talk about the ending, I want to ask you guys about highlights from the match.
It was great to see how much of Australia was heavily
Represented,
featured
yeah.
near the end.
Well, before we even get into that, it was over the top rope. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
That is them, WWE, NXT, everyone showing confidence in the women wrestlers down there that they can carry that, and they're just as tough as the guys.
It's just, it boggles my mind that you could possibly think that they're any less on the competitive physical scale as men just because they're women. Why do they have to go through the middle? You put them over the top. That's the test.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't lower the bar. You keep the bar where it is and they gotta go to it. That's how everything works.
And they are raising the bar.
That
is what they're doing.
Raising a barn, too.
So back to highlights. You guys really enjoyed the Australians in the match.
Well, it was interesting to see who got featured in this.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of the newer girls that got eliminated first, which is kind of to be expected.
And it was established very early on who were the people to be feared. Everyone in the ring kind of shied away from Asuka in the first 30 seconds of the match.
It was a very one versus all sort of thing.
Until Emma went for it.
And Emma was, I think, the most aggressive in this, with maybe Alexa Bliss behind.
Since she's the most senior, really, she has the greatest amount of experience of any of the female competitors in this match, having done her time on the main roster. She's sort of the leader of this, arguably the most dangerous next to Asuka.
Asuka is the most established, but Emma is the most established within WWE.
Correct.
Yeah, but even Asuka, from the beginning, started at a defensive spot. Whereas Emma, I never really noticed her kind of under anybody else. Like, she was always like, all right, I'm done beating you up. I'm going to go beat somebody else up.
Yeah.
Now, would I say she was the most dominant of this match? No, I still say that that's Asuka. But it was interesting to, like, they worked in the history between Asuka and Emma.
Yeah.
They seemingly started a new history with Eva Marie and Asuka.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even talk about that. When Eva Marie was making her way down to the ring in her all red and green everything, Asuka just kind of walks up behind her and pushes her out of the way to get to the ring. And Eva did not look... She was more confused than angry.
She got kicked in the face.
Fed her that foot, man. Just
right
shoved
down
that whole foot, and then Eva Marie was out for the majority, damn near the entirety of this match.
But she did not go over the top rope when she went out. Asuka is the last one left in the ring, and of course, as we just mentioned, Eva Marie hadn't gone over the top rope, so she gets back in the ring, eliminates Asuka. Everyone is booing, just that nuclear heat that Eva Marie gets, and I was scared. Hobo was scared.
I was so happy that nobody saw
because
anything.
Carmela, mid-match, went through one of the other ropes, but she did not go over the top rope, so she was still in the match. She comes into the ring, eliminates Eva Marie, and gets just the best reaction from the crowd. But now we are left with the question, is this the end of Baymella?
Oh no. I think this is going to be one of those matches where we're going to get a handshake at the beginning and at the end. A hug handshake at the beginning and at the end, where it's going to be
sandwich.
It's going
to the match
with
hug is the bread.
Match meat in the middle. It's going to be that's the best way I could have put that. But I think this is going to be a Sasha Banks Becky moment, where it's going to be, here are two people that we see as equals, as people who travel together, and we're going to see the evolution of that shown in the ring. Because to be perfectly honest, I've been a big fan of Carmela outside of the ring, and I've been slowly warming up to her in the ring, and I really want her to succeed. We saw a great match out of Bayley and Alexa Bliss.
It's a huge opportunity for Carmela to elevate herself, in that we've seen her so many times in these non-main event or title matches for NXT, and she's built herself as this female competitor that we know is there. She's established, but this is just going to take her to the next level. And of course, seeing her on Breaking Ground too, you have to be invested in her.
And this could be a storyline for Breaking Ground as well.
Sorry, I cut you off with the other thing. Where were you going with?
Nothing.
Okay.
We're good.
The exposure here is
We're
huge
running out of time, so.
for Carmela. On Breaking Ground, she was featured quite heavily. We got to know her even better, and now she's in this main event spot. It's a huge opportunity for her.
Totally.
The biggest. So I really am looking forward to what's going on.
Me too. As the chat is putting it, Battle of the Besties. Whether we'll see this, do you guys want to see this build to whatever, like WrestleMania takeover, or do you want to see this on a taping? Or do you want to see this feud taken all the way to takeover?
Blah. I just want to see it. Like, I'm excited to see it. it's hard to get as invested in a feud when it's two people that really just like each other. Because then I feel like it's going to be punch, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, punch, or, you know, not punches because you can't do closed fists, but like, you know, the equivalent of that, and then like apologizing for it afterwards, as opposed to, I'm going to do everything to win this match. I don't care about
It'll be great to see that turn.
Whatever, yeah.
It'll be great to see that turn. We're probably going to see a lot of, I mean, and this is weeks in advance, but we're probably going to see
Bailey's going to turn?
No. We're going to, yeah, and so is John Cena. So we're probably going to see an even back and forth before they go, all right, this next part isn't going to be as fun.
I mean, what if it is, you know, Bailey versus Carmela, and they're doing the title shot, and then Nia Jax comes out and tries to cost Bailey the match because she sees Carmela as the competitor that she would like to face.
I don't know. I think they're still going to run her and Eva Marie gambit. So I think, if anything, she'd be in Eva's corner for whenever Asuka Eva Marie happens.
I can see the match itself breaking down. Nia Jax comes out with Eva Marie. Now we've got a tag match, and something goes off from there.
And it could go to a fatal four-way. To be more honest, I would rather see Alexa Bliss come in and
I know.
interrupt
I was
it.
just gonna say, like,
she did
I really
great in
want to
this
see
match,
her.
and her size and Liv Morgan, for that matter, was a huge advantage in the fact that it was an over-the-top rope.
She did great in this match, but there were some things as far as like thinking it through. They even mentioned it on commentary. Why would you get up to the top rope to do a move when you're going over the top rope? Why would you put someone in a sleeper when then you have to throw them over the top rope?
It's
so there are little,
it's desperation.
Yeah, it's desperation, but there are little things that she's smart. She's a smart girl,
dude.
So maybe it was just in that moment she didn't think about it, but
was one less person to deal with. Leave him on the ground. I'll come back to him later.
True.
Yeah. You just eliminate them out of the equation for the moment. It's not out of the match, just out for the moment.
And when you wake up, you don't know where you are. Like,
and also, Cameron did great in this match.
Yeah.
Yep.
She eliminated 2 people. I want to see more singles matches from her, because her return has already been a wonderful step forward for her career and her in-ring abilities. And I'm really excited to see more from her.
That's the thing, with the girl bye, I feel like that's such a heel thing to say, though.
Oh, it's a total heel thing. No, she's a heel.
Really?
Yeah. She's a heel.
Okay. But you can't be a heel and then release a song about anti-bullying.
I mean,
Listen,
it's going to change.
Does not always occur.
I mean, Titus.
I really like her too. Like, I want to see her succeed, because I think we've seen over the past few weeks the work that she's been putting into this. So
committed. She's very committed.
I wouldn't mind seeing her become more of a babyface.
I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see. Really just have to wait.
Well, definitely looking forward to the weeks to come. Anything else that you guys want to mention from this episode before we wrap up?
I'm just excited for a lot of the shows coming up.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Looking strong.
Agree. I know that you said that we have one piece.
We actually have several pieces of news.
Oh,
so
cool.
if we can hit that real quick.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
So there was a couple things that happened at the taping. One of which, this isn't really a spoiler, the first episode of NXT Kids was shot.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Izzy.
It was Izzy. Izzy interviewed the Big Show after her match with Heath Slater.
So she's like a fifth of his size.
Oh, she was up on the corner and still like reaching up.
What is that Dr. Seuss thing where they like hold Tiny Tim, or I don't know who it is.
Yes, Tiny Tim. Classic character from the Dr. Seuss books. And also on that show was Becky Lynch versus Natalya. No word on when we're going to see that, but which confirms something that we were talking about earlier, which is that Natalya is back and cleared so that we will be able to see her.
Thank you, universe.
Finally.
So that was good. We also had Biff Busick made his in-ring debut at the taping.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's already made his TV debut. We're going to see him within the coming weeks.
I saw so many things online about Busick versus Swan.
Rich Swan in a WWE ring. Who would have thought?
What?
So excited to see him within the coming weeks. We also have Shinsuke Nakamura is confirmed to be coming to the WWE. He was stripped of the IGWP Intercontinental Championship because of the news. He still has a couple more dates to finish up, but rumor has it
on the 30th or 31st for him.
Yeah, so rumor has it February he's going to come stateside, spend a little bit of time in the Performance Center, and skip NXT and go straight to the main roster. That's the rumor as it is right now, but he is going to be spending some time at the PC, probably learning camera because the Japanese style isn't quite as TV-centric and camera-centric as the American style. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up with that.
It's also funny to see all of the wrestlers, whether they're in NXT or on the main roster, come out in interviews this last week and say that is their dream match, is Nakamura.
Them and Nakamura?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see no matter several things that happen with that. And then in our final piece of news, in the ongoing connection with Evolve, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, now known as American Alpha, as well as William Regal, are going to be making an appearance at the January 23rd Evolve show. And if memory serves me, there's something else is going to be happening on the 23rd at that show. Hobo, do you know anything about that?
All I know is whatever happens, I'll be there to witness it myself. So,
Hobo at Evolve?
Oh, you're going to be in Florida.
That's so weird.
I'm not going to be here next week because I'm going to be on the other side of the country. So, if you are in Florida, maybe you want to go to the Evolve show and maybe get a picture with me.
Say hello.
On my Hello Hobo tour.
Hashtag Hello Hobo Tour. So anybody who's going to be going to that Evolve show, definitely come say hi to Mr. Hobo. Say hi to JJ and Gable. They're going to be doing a autograph signing, and Hobo's just going to be panhandling. So there's going to be a little bit of that.
I will be collecting fees for JJ and Gable autograph signings.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Incorporate yourself as a helper first.
It's going to be $5.
Until they find out what you're doing.
And kick me out.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly what you're going to do.
I must act quickly and smoothly.
So let us know what you think about that news and that gossip. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Use the hashtag ABTVNXTeam. We'll talk about it. Why not? It's been a big time, a big start for the year of NXT and the NXT team for that matter. So we have a hell of a 2016 to look forward to.
There are so many things to look forward to as far as what we're going to be putting out, and then as far as what NXT is doing with going on several tours. They've got the Midwestern stuff going on next weekend. I think they announced dates in the Northeast. There's so many dates as far as that goes. But we are excited to talk about it all in the coming weeks. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Please take 30 seconds if you can. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Just type in AfterBuzz TV. Find the NXT After Show. Give us 5 stars and leave us a comment. Let us know what we can improve on. If you like the show, if you like any of us, if you don't, whatever. It really does help us grow the show here and potentially get more interviews. Yes, we're looking forward to getting interviews at WrestleMania. We're hoping for, and whenever they do make it out to the West Coast, we're crossing our fingers. So take 30 seconds, do that. It would help us out a lot. And continue the conversation with us on Twitter. Where can they find you, Hobo?
You can find me at True Hobo on Twitter, and you can follow me posting a lot of photos as I'm traveling hither and non. Follow at CWFH Training on Twitter if you want to learn how to wrestle. That's the place to go. I suggest you follow that. Buy a shirt, any one of our shirts, at nxteam.spreadshirt.com.
We're actually having a sale right now. All shirts are $15. And they're all high quality, I assure you, because I've ordered them and I love them.
Yes.
But ever since I started dressing up, I stopped wearing them on air.
You just wear them when you're at home.
Yes, I do. I wear them just.
Shout out to Daniel on Twitter, who bought one of the cupcake shirts.
Yeah, that was
cool.
That was really cool of you. So make sure nxteam.spreadshirt.com. We're running the sale for a little while longer. Get yourself something nice. Help us out. As we mentioned, we got a big year coming up. We recorded a new episode of the Gimmick Podcast.
Finally!
Yes. After much deliberation, myself and Brandon Taylor, who you can follow at CWFH Training, we recorded an episode of the Gimmick Pod that is at the Gimmick Pod on Twitter. It's going to be on iTunes hopefully tomorrow, depending on how long it takes to process. But yeah, follow me on Twitter at SoapboxMark for more information. We got a lot of stuff planned for AfterBuzz TV, for NXT. It's going to be a heck of a year. We are starting our WrestleMania planning, as Cathy mentioned. So please follow me, the Wrestling Realist, SoapboxMark, on Twitter at SoapboxMark. Cathy Kelley.
You can follow me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly and on Instagram at Cathy Kelley. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you again next week.
Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.